It's time to go to work. Jerk of All Trades Podcast, episode number 31, the Halloween special.
Ooh.
Up in the beast.
Yeah.
What's up, Ray?
We got a spooky, and fun show
Ow!
lined up for you guys today. So,
I love it.
yes, it's going to be a great time. So, we've got lots of fun things. We've got Eddie doing a little UFC 217 breakdown.
Yeah.
We're going to break down the universal call out of bananas.
Ow.
I
don't know why I did that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I did it
twice.
either.
I gimmick infringement myself.
Yeah, that's okay. Can you do that?
I think so.
We've got a Florida man who was busted for meth in his car. It turned out to be a glazed donut crumb.
Oh, those are good. Those are good. How about the marijuana degree? College degree
yes.
for marijuana.
Marijuana degree at Northern Michigan University. So,
a little something to wet your whistle, but we all know around here, Ray loves the horror movie culture. And with Halloween coming up, it's only fitting that we have Ray drop some knowledge on which horror flicks you should be watching this Hallows Eve.
Yes. So when this podcast drops, it's going to be Monday, and Tuesday is going to be Halloween.
Yes.
And so there's lots of horror movies out there, and there's lots of channels that play horror movies on repeat. A lot of people watch a ton of horror movies during this month, this time of year, and don't really watch anything the rest of the year. RayTheJerk watches horror films all the goddamn time, nonstop. But I do have some particular ones that I watch during this time of year. And they're not really particularly the ones that you would see if you turned on like AMC or Sci-Fi. I watch those too. The original Halloween is a fucking classic. It's an awesome movie. I watch it every Halloween time. But I think there's some other unheralded ones that don't get as much play and don't get as much love. So I wanted to spotlight 5 of those because these are.
So what do you look for in a good Halloween movie? Just like off the top.
Well, you know what? That's a great question. So all of the movies that I'm going to spotlight today are very particularly tied to Halloween and the actual holiday specifically. So, I mean, you've got horror films that maybe, they get played a lot during Halloween, but just because they're horror films. But I think that there are certain films that just kind of are more intrinsically tied to the holiday for me. So
it's
these
not
are
specifically the gore or the suspense or the chase. It's just like the story as a whole, I guess.
Right. You'll see as I go along that these things are all very Halloween centric. So, I mean, I do watch, there are other movies that I watch during this time of year that just, I casually watch anyway. Like, let's say like A Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare on Elm Street would be a good Halloween movie, but it's just a good movie, good horror movie to watch whenever. So I don't really particularly tie it in with Halloween time because it's not really specific to Halloween.
Okay.
So
now that's the answer I'm looking for. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So all of these movies are actually interestingly as we go along, you will see that multiple of these movies, while they're kind of tied to the horror genre, they're not really scary movies. So actually 3 of them could probably be categorized as comedy movies, and one of them is sort of more action centric. So
yes, I love me some comedy.
Yeah. So our intro movie though is definitely a horror movie. So I mentioned Halloween, and I mean Halloween time would not be anything without watching the original stone cold fucking classic, John Carpenter's Halloween. It's just an absolute classic in my opinion. I think it's one of the greatest horror films of all time. I think it's just an amazing film in general. It does so many things right that so many other movies do wrong. And so, yeah, I absolutely love it. And even though it's not the first slasher movie, it definitely changed the game, influenced one of my favorite film franchises ever, Friday the 13th. Sean Cunningham, the director and creator of the original Friday the 13th, basically said that he ripped off Halloween. He straight up admits that he ripped off John Carpenter's Halloween. So
Interesting.
And then Friday the 13th obviously became popular, and then you had all of these other movies that branched out of that. So a lot of that came from Halloween. But my pick is actually Halloween Part 3, Season of the Witch. So this is actually very controversial Halloween.
No Jamie Lee Curtis.
No Jamie Lee Curtis, but the big thing is there's no Michael Myers in it. This movie actually does not have Michael Myers in it, and people were not happy at all. So
what year did this come out?
This came out in 1982. 1982.
Okay. Did it still have the music? The good Halloween music?
No, it did not have that. It did not have that particular music.
It didn't have anything.
So basically, you had Halloween, which obviously I already covered, and then you had Halloween Part 2. Halloween Part 2 is like a direct follow-up to the original. He's chasing Jamie Lee Curtis throughout the hospital. It's also an amazing, amazing movie. Not as good as the first, but still really good. But anyway, basically, John Carpenter had this vision that Halloween would not be all about Michael Myers, and that each different one would be basically about some sort of different story that was Halloween related.
Kind of like Black Mirror?
Yeah. Exactly that type of thing where it was, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is on that, but so yeah, he wanted to change it up on this one. It's not directed by John Carpenter. I believe he produced it, but it's directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. And essentially the synopsis of Halloween 3 is kids all over America want silver shamrock masks for Halloween. Dr. Daniel Chalice seeks to uncover a plot by silver shamrock owner Cornell Cochran. So this has an awesome performance by Tom Atkins, who I absolutely love. He's in a lot of genre movies. He's in a favorite of mine called Night of the Creeps. But essentially there's these masks that are put out by this company, Silver Shamrock. It's a mask company, and all the kids have to have them. And there's one that's a pumpkin head, and there's one that's a witch head, and one that's a skull head. And basically you have to get your Silver Shamrock mask, and then on Halloween they're going to play this particular Silver Shamrock song. And it goes something like, happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. And
nice.
So anyway,
that'll be a clip later on.
He's he's infiltrating in because he knows that something else is going on, and essentially what is going down is, and there's a really awesome scene late in the movie where all the kids have their masks, their Silver Shamrock masks on, and they're in front of their old school, tube televisions, and they're watching the Silver Shamrock thing, and it's this really creepy, like flashing pumpkin while that song is playing, the jingle, I guess. And all of a sudden their heads just start like melting, like the masks start like eating their heads, and they're like trying to rip the masks off of their head.
Ooh.
And all the children turn into like snakes and like spiders and stuff. Like their bodies just disintegrate, and like it's pretty freaking crazy and pretty brutal. To me, this is very, very, very Halloween centric. So a lot of people don't like it. I think it's getting more respect as the years go along, but there's still a lot of people that are very particular in what.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
So who was behind the masks, or is that too much of giving it away?
Well, the guy that owns the Silver Shamrock, which is the Cornell Cochran.
So. Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if they ever explain exactly what his motivations are and why he wanted to do that, besides just being a shitty dude.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Anyway, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, definitely one that you should be checking out on Halloween.
There you go, man. That's a good one.
So, all right. Next up, we have from 2014, and this is a movie that I really, really liked a lot. Really blew me away. Was Adam Wingard's The Guest. The Guest.
Yeah, this is a little bit newer.
Yes, this
2014.
2014. It's written by Simon Barrett. It's directed by Adam Wingard, who's actually really, really blowing up now. He did a movie that I absolutely loved called You're Next, which is kind of a play off of the home invasion movies. He did the remake of The Blair Witch, which I can't say I was all that hot on. He did Death Note, that's on Netflix right now, which is kind of getting somewhat crappy reviews. But The Guest is just awesome, and I really like You're Next, but I think that this might be his strongest film. And what makes this movie so Halloween centric, because the plot in and of itself doesn't seem that Halloween centric. So The plot is a soldier introduces himself to the Peterson family, claiming to be a friend of their son who died in action. So he was in the military with him, or so they think. After the young man is welcomed into their home, a series of accidental deaths seem to be connected to his presence.
Nice.
So essentially, this guy comes in. This mom is really in mourning because her son died in the military, and this guy comes around. She's got a younger son, and she's got a daughter that's maybe 16, 17ish, and this good-looking dude comes in that was in the military with her son, and things start going awry, and like her son is being bullied, and he goes along with him and goes into the bar where all the like high school kids hang out and just beats the ever living shit out of these kids, like just nobody's fucking business.
Oh, no.
He's a total badass. He does that, and like the guys at the bar, like trying to, the guys that own the bar, like gonna call the police, and he just basically lays down the law of like, these kids are underage, and I guarantee that the police are not gonna want to hear that you're serving underage kids, as all these bodies of all these children that he's beaten down and like broken their arms and shit. And then he just takes out a wad of
and by
money.
kids you mean teenagers, right?
They're teenagers, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like between like 15, 16, something in that range. I mean, he just takes this wad of money that must be like $300-400 and just like sets it on the table and just like walks out like a total badass. But anyway, he's a very likable character. But then there's kind of a twist where you start to realize that he's from this government experiment, basically. Like he was like some sort of like created assassin, and so the government is trying to take him down, and things just start going in a darker direction. The culmination and the ending of the movie actually happens at a Halloween dance at the high school. The things that make this so Halloween centric to me, though, is that Adam Wingard is clearly very, very influenced by John Carpenter, and that really, really shows in this movie, the soundtrack of this movie. So I don't know if you knew this, but John Carpenter, he writes all the music for all of his movies. He wrote the Halloween theme and every other movie that he's ever made.
I did not know that.
Created all of that music. So that whole synth kind of thing was definitely a big part of John Carpenter. And so this movie has that soundtrack. It's clearly an homage to that. The way that it's filmed, it's got a lot of that kind of like Carpenter kind of feel and stuff going on. It's got a little bit of a kind of like 80s throwback kind of thing going on with the color saturation and such throughout it. Actually, in the ending scene where it's in the Halloween dance or whatever in the high school, they actually have a big homage to the previous film that I talked about, which is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. They actually have like the 3 masks are actually like on like one of the displays. So it's the best way I could describe this movie, because like I said, it's I wouldn't really consider it to just be a horror movie, but what it kind of does, it's sort of like a twist on a slasher movie. So he's kind of a killer, but he's there in the midst, and it's like it's just a kind of turn of face on something that you've seen a lot of times, and that's kind of what Adam Wingard, at least with the movies that he was creating before he got gobbled up by Hollywood and started doing remakes. He was kind of creating a movie that you've seen a lot of times, but he was doing something very different with it. And rejuvenating it. And so that's, to me, why this movie is very Halloween centric, because I mean, it's sort of like a slasher movie like Halloween, but it's done in a different way. So
yeah, you wouldn't expect it based off the cover art in the back of the DVD and stuff.
Yeah,
I was just taking a look at little Malika Monroe here. She's not too bad looking.
No, she's a cute girl for
She's
sure.
A little cutie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to check this one out.
I think out of all of my picks here, I think that may be the one that Eddie would enjoy the most.
Sweet.
So
I'll put it on the queue.
Put it on the queue. All right. So next up on the list, I have I actually just saw this. This came out in 2013. I actually just saw this earlier this year.
I gotta admit, before you showed me the list and everything, I was expecting a lot of like 80s, 70s, like old school Halloween movies. These are all like kind of new.
Yeah. I mean, I could have, I didn't want to do traditional, like Pumpkinhead, or, hey, Pumpkinhead's a great Halloween movie. It's fucking like he's birthed in a fucking pumpkin patch. Um, but, to me, that's too cliched. It's
Mm.
too obvious of a pick. So,
These are some very, very good picks.
I tried to be a little bit more off the cuff with my selection. So,
Absolutely. And that's why you should listen to the JOAT podcast, because you're not going to get the run of the mill
right.
picks. You're going to get the hard to find picks that are really, really good that you never would have heard about before.
So yeah, the next one is definitely fits within that. And I actually shudder to reveal too much about this movie, because I think if you had someone watch this fresh and you didn't explain it, essentially what this is, I'll give you this synopsis. The name of the movie,
Okay, yeah,
the name of the movie is WNUF Halloween Special. And it's originally broadcast live on October 31st, 1987. The WNUF Halloween Special is a stunning expose of terrifying supernatural activity that unfolded at an infamous Weber house, the site of ghastly murders. Local television personality Frank Stewart leads a group of paranormal investigators, including Catholic exorcist Father Joseph Matheson and the prolific husband and wife team Lois and Claire Berger. Together, the experts explore the darkest corners of the supposedly haunted Weber house, trying to prove the existence of the demonic entities within. Did they find the horrific truth, or simply put superstitious rumors to rest? All right, so I know that was kind of a long synopsis.
That was a run-on sentence like a
yeah.
motherfucker. Whoever typed that needs to fix that.
That was, I think that was the
anonymous,
right? Anonymous motherfucker,
you bastard.
So yeah, I actually saw this on, which I can't say enough about, how much I love Shudder, which is a streaming horror movie service, which I think has really, really taken off and just has a really, really excellent selection of stuff. And stuff like this that, unless you're really deeply entrenched into the horror genre, you're gonna miss. But essentially, this one is a comedy. So basically, what this movie kind of is, from the look, the feel, it's like basically like a news broadcast from 1987. It includes all these different commercials and stuff that would be like time specific for like different kinds of face paint. You can paint your face like a werewolf, and very
Nice.
very 80s centric stuff, like come on down to the local pizza place where shit like that,
kind of like the Mr. Robot episode,
right?
The throwback.
Exactly. So it's totally got that. And the movie starts, and it basically, there's no credits, there's nothing like that. It starts, and you're going through it as if it is an actual like VHS tape that was found of this original broadcast. And so, it's like, it's silly, it's zany, it's funny, it's like not too over the top, because it still plays within the realms of like what that kind of stuff would be. Like, it doesn't go too overboard with it. There's like an interview with a dentist a local dentist who's like talking about the evils of Halloween because kids get a lot of cavities, and like there's this whole fucking expose about it. It's really fucking silly.
That's cool.
But anyway, as you go along, you're also then the other thing that the synopsis talked about, where they're going into this supposedly haunted house, where there was this murder, and as you go along, things kind of start to take a darker turn. And it's still silly, and it, as you're watching that portion of it, it would become fairly obvious, I think, to most people that it, is not an actual, tape from 1987, that this is something more modern. But the way that they do it and the dedication that they have to creating this thing is just so authentic to the era that you really could watch probably 3/4 of this movie and not know that this was a modern movie. Like, you would think that this was like some sort of like unearthed thing from 1987 from some random city, in the Midwest or something.
Yeah, I would say out of all the movies, I know we have 2 left still, this one piques my interest probably the most.
It's very, very interesting. It's quite funny. Like, I found myself laughing out loud at multiple moments. And it just really, really like hits that like feeling of like what Halloween felt like, or like from, a nostalgic viewpoint of like what Halloween was like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, it really, really nails that feeling. And so you just feel very like old school Halloween with this thing. And the thing that I really like about it as well is that essentially what this is, and the blurb actually on the front is actually from the director of the Blair Witch Project, the original, and he, has some quote that is something to the effect. Hold on, I have the DVD here so I can look at it. The quote is, craziest thing I've ever seen on live TV. That's from Eduardo Sanchez, the co-creator of the Blair Witch Project. So they even play that, on the DVD
on
cover,
the box,
right? That like this is like something that was actually real, and
Yeah.
so it's kind of that Blair Witch effect, like when the Blair Witch first came out and people thought that it was real. They kind of try to play to that as well. That
They're
this was something,
kayfabing it,
right?
brother.
They're kayfabing it, and they're very, very dedicated to it. When you watch the movie, like even at the end of the movie, there's no credits. It just shuts off. It just goes to like static at the end.
Oh, there's no credits at all?
There's no credits in the beginning. There's no credits at the end. It just goes straight to static. They actually, before they came out with it on DVD, when it first came out, it only came out on a VHS tape that was very limited, and the VHS tape had all handwritten like name and stuff on it, and so like you could order it, and you would just get like an actual recorded version of the movie, and then they dubbed copies of it, so like as people got copies, like there was dubs of dubs, and so it was degenerating more, and so like it actually added to the feel of the movie, to not see it in fucking 4K, ultra Blu-ray, because it looked like something that had been generationally passed down. So
that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
So yeah, WNUF Halloween special, just an absolute blast. I had so much fun watching that movie, and I will definitely on Halloween Day probably be watching that along with the next movie I actually watched last night while I carved pumpkins, and I'll probably have to watch number 1 on Halloween too. So
sweet.
All right, so number two is a late 90s kind of sex romp comedy, but it's with a twist, and I think that this movie is just criminally underrated, which is Idle Hands from 1999. Starring Devon Sawa, Seth Green, and Jessica Alba as well as in it.
The crowd goes wild, especially for Jessica Alba.
Vivica A. Fox.
Vivica Fox.
Yeah, there's a lot of names in this movie.
This is probably the biggest budget, or I don't know, biggest budget, but this is like has the most name recognition out of
for sure,
movies.
For sure, definitely. And I think this movie came out in a bad time for horror. Like this is like the post Scream era, the I Know What You Did Last Summer, the self-aware kind of horror, and that era is not really looked at very with very positive eyes. And I think that this movie is quite a bit different than that. I mean, it's obvious why this thing is Halloween centric, because I mean the whole fucking thing takes place on Halloween. From the beginning of the movie all the way through the entire movie. I think it's genuinely funny. I love the fact that it's it's like a straight up stoner comedy, but mixed with a horror film. But it doesn't take itself too seriously. But the other thing that I really, really like about this as well is this kind of pays homage to Evil Dead Part 2. So this is essentially the whole movie is the plot of Ash getting his hand cut off in Evil Dead 2 and him having to battle against his hand from killing people. So I like the characters in it. I like Devon Sawa's character. I like really everyone. I like his buddies. Seth Green, I think, is hilarious in this. Once both of his buddies, once they get killed, he's got the beer bottle in his head.
Yeah.
He tries to, when he's got his head cut off, and he decides he's hungry, and he makes a burrito, and then he starts to eat the burrito, and the burrito starts squirting out of his mouth where it was duct taped back on. So a lot of funny moments in this one. Also, it's got The Offspring in it performing one of their old school songs, Beheaded, off of their self-titled album. So I'm a big fan of the original Offspring before they sucked. And they performed Beheaded. I thought that was pretty cool. Even at the time, I remember being pretty impressed with that. So Idle Hands. I think I watch this thing every single year for Halloween, and I'm really disappointed that I don't hear more people talk about it. I look at the Metascore. The Metascore is 31 on this.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to those scores.
Yeah.
I think I saw one. I don't know what site it was, because there's like a lot of them now. IMDb, Metascore, Rotten Tomatoes. The Avengers got like a 98% or something like that. So I was like, oh man, I can't miss with Avengers. Watch the whole thing. Thumbs down.
Yeah. People get so caught up in the hype
Oh
of
my
like whatever
God.
the new big budget movie is.
Yeah,
And
well, the score, it was like 98%. It was like, how could I go wrong with a movie that has 98%? Not knowing like that these scores are like fanboys, I guess, and just like, the people that just adore comic books are rating this thing through the roof. So, I'm not a big score guy as far as reviews go.
yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I think that this movie came out in a time when, horror was really on the downturn. And so movies like that really didn't get a lot of love. And I'm really surprised, though, that usually movies like that after the fact will kind of start to get picked up and, people will start to appreciate them.
I'm surprised they didn't come out with a sequel for this. Idle Hands 2.
Yeah.
They had all those young actors, and like they could have capitalized on a sequel, maybe.
Yeah. And
It
they,
never happened.
and they did not. So, but anyway, yeah, you should be watching Idle Hands on Halloween. So if you're not, what the fuck are you doing?
The Idle Hands or Devil's Playground.
Yes, yes. I well, not his buddy, the tough guy, the 80s metal dude that drives the truck, I believe, tells him that.
Nice.
So
Well, it's got to be somewhere in the
I
movie.
I love I love that his hand gets possessed by the devil, and so he decides that he has to go talk to the guy that listens to like Motley Crue because he has to know about Satan and stuff. And then the guy's just like, dude, it's just music. Like I don't know anything about Satan and possession or anything. Like I just like the Crew, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. And then my number one pick movie that you should be watching on Halloween. I'm gonna tell you that I have sat through so many bad horror movies over the years. I would go to the video store and I would just rent any fucking horror movie that I could find. And man, I watched some fucking stinkers, some horrible movies. I watched a lot of mediocre movies, and I've watched some good ones too. But now with the internet and stuff, it's a lot easier to find the good stuff. But this is actually up there for one of the best movies that I blindly saw. I rented it and I just absolutely fucking loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And it's by Jeremy Salaner, and it's Murder Party from 2007. And so
Ain't nothing but a murder party. You know what that's from, right?
I don't know what that's from.
Oh, it's Tupac and Snoop Dogg.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it ain't nothing but a gangster party, but I put murder in there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was
Switched it
fitting.
up.
2007 Murder Party.
Yes. So I watched this movie and I was so impressed, and I knew I can get the feeling when I see a movie by someone and it's just like I can tell that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and boy, did he ever fucking deliver. So he went on to his next movie that he created was a movie called Blue Ruin, which is just absolutely fucking awesome. Definitely a must-watch movie. And then after that, one of my favorite fucking movies of probably the last 10 years is Green Room. He made Green Room. So I think I've been selling you on that. You haven't watched that yet, right,
Not
Eddie?
quite yet, no.
But you should. It's fucking tense as a motherfucker.
How long is it?
It's like an hour and a half, maybe.
Oh, that's easy. I can do that, yeah.
But yeah, so Murder Party, the synopsis on this: a random invitation to a Halloween party leads a man into the hands of a rogue collective intent on murdering him for the sake of their art, sparking a bloodbath of mishap, mayhem, and hilarity. So yeah, essentially you got this really fucking dorky guy, and he's got nothing going on Halloween. He's got this really lame life where he just goes home and he just like... He's got this really shitty chair. He goes home. He just wants to sit in the fucking chair, and he's got this fat cat who just sits in the chair and won't get up for him.
Was his name Sam?
No, but it should have been.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't remember what the name of his cat in this movie is. He's got a great name for him. It's like a long name.
I might be able to look it up.
It's like Sir something. Anyway. So yeah, so he's walking home, and he's got some problems. He's got some mental issues going on and stuff, and having a hard time in life. And
Sir Lancelot,
Sir Lancelot the cat. So he's walking home, and this Halloween invitation just blows up on the ground, and it's for what's called the murder party. And so he goes inside his house, and he decides to make his Halloween costume. And so, and also he's got to make a snack. So you get to see him making the snack that he's going to bring to this murder party. And he makes his costume, and his costume is basically a robot, but it's made with cardboard box. And actually, the DVD actually has an extra that's actually shows you step by step how to make the costume that he wears in the movie. It's pretty
nice.
badass little robot costume. So,
Huh.
anyway.
That's something you don't get with the downloads.
No,
the DVD
you don't.
Extras.
The little extras and bring into the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
So anyway, he shows up to the party, and it's a bunch of kind of art students or whatever, these weird art students who are all dressed up, and it kind of becomes apparent that, hey, this is a murder party, and he is the one that they are planning on murdering. But they're not just going to murder him. They all are coming up with these different creative, artistic ways in which they're going to murder him. And, they're going to turn it into this huge fucking like art exhibit. And there's this guy who is basically telling them that he's going to give them a grant for whoever creates like the best, murder art thing or whatever. And so anyway, he's not just going to let people murder him. So... So he eventually tries to get away. There's just some absolutely fucking hilarious moments in this movie. There's a moment where he gets away out of the chair that he's locked up in, and he runs into this like utility closet, and like it shows him. And there's a lot of homage too. So like if you've ever seen Evil Dead before, Eddie, have you seen Evil Dead?
The first one, yeah.
Okay, so like there's like this like cutting like camera work where they are showing him where he's like building like his like arm, the chainsaw arm thing.
Okay.
Anyway, so they're kind of doing that, and they're like cutting to all the different items that are inside of this closet that he can possibly use as weapons against these people. And so like he's in there, he's looking, and then it cuts to the outside, like with the camera. He comes out, he just has a bunch of shit in his arms, and then he just throws it like a foot in front of him on the ground, and then they just look at him confused, and then he just like bolts and starts running away. So like his whole
that's a nice touch.
So like his whole plan, like all these weapons and shit that he could have used, but his whole plan was awkwardly come out and throw a bunch of shit on the ground and then confuse them and then run. So there's a lot of other really, really funny moments. There's a really funny moment later where he's like, he got out of the building and now he's like running along the building tops trying to get away from these people who are trying to kill him. There's one guy in particular who is in all of this guy's movies. His name is Macon Blair, who actually himself turned into a great, great director. He directed a really, really awesome movie, which has like the worst name ever. It's called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. Anyway, he's like a werewolf, and he ends up setting his face on fire. So he's got this melted mask on his face. So anyway, he's chasing him, and like this dude is like running, and he's like running through this party. And he's like, I need a phone. Like, I need to call the police. I need a phone. And he runs into like the like staircase. And then there's just this perfectly filmed moment of just a guy that is in a costume of like an old school telephone. He's just standing there.
Weird.
And then he just like looks at him, and then there's just like this great comedic moment of like nothing said, and then he just like runs past him. So there's a lot of very, very funny, subtle comedic moments in it. And I just absolutely love it. And it really, really fits into the Halloween spirit. Obviously, it fucking takes place on Halloween. It's fucking a murder party taking place on Halloween.
Hell yeah.
And it's really unheralded, and it's really fucking funny.
That's the key thing. It's funny, so you can have your friends watch it. Yeah.
I have had people watch this. I had my buddy Adam watch this, who we watched a lot of bad movies together, and he was just totally blown away. Like, he was just like, man, why are there not more movies like that? He just absolutely loved it. So it's a great movie. It's a great movie to show your friends on Halloween. They will be so impressed with you and your deep horror knowledge.
Yes.
Not knowledge of horrors.
Of horrors?
Right, not of horrors.
No horrors.
Not of horses.
Horses?
But of horror films.
Interesting.
So there it is. There's the list.
There it is, man.
Top 5 must-see Halloween horror flicks.
Like
courtesy of RayTheJerk.
Like Ray said, man, these are, hidden gems. This is like the JOAT network hidden gems of Halloween.
Yes, and you know what? I will do you all a favor as well, and I will make a post on the blog, and I will have the trailers for all 5 of these movies.
Hell yeah.
So you guys can check those out. So
hell yeah.
All right. All right, so I have a specialty, and it is horror films. Eddie has one as well. What is his? God damn it, you already know. His is UFC. So Eddie, drop some knowledge on the upcoming UFC 217. I hear it's going to be a big one.
Woo! UFC 217 this Saturday, November 4th at Madison Square Garden.
MSG can't beat it, man.
Oh man, I'm ready. I am so ready. 3 title fights. This thing is big. In the main event, the legend returns. George Rush St. Pierre will be going one-on-one with Michael the Count Bisping, who is the current UFC middleweight champion. George St. Pierre, he's got accolades on top of accolades. One of the longest reigning welterweight champions of all time. One of the most has the most title defenses of all time. Like, this guy is just the complete fighter. Him and Anderson Silva were carrying the UFC for quite a long time. In the late, it's hard to put a name on the the
O's,
the O's,
the millenniums
to the early tens, the early teens.
I know. I hate it, man. I hope we live back to like the 80s and the 90s.
I know,
and stuff
it's so
where
easy.
Yeah,
It's so easy naming it. So, just to give a quick breakdown here, I mean, if this fight would have happened a while ago, this probably would have been an easier pick to pick George St. Pierre. But now he's a little bit older. He's been away from the cage. Ring rust is a thing. And Michael Bisping has been looking pretty good lately. So this shit is going to be interesting as fuck.
would you say it's going to be bananas?
It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. George St. Pierre is going up in weight for this card. He's actually going for the middleweight championship, where his forte was usually the welterweight. So he's going to be at a size disadvantage for this fight. The height and reach, I'm definitely giving to Michael Bisping. The grappling and wrestling, Michael Bisping has very good takedown defense, but George St. Pierre is very good at taking people down. So I'll definitely give the wrestling and the submission advantage to George St. Pierre. The striking, I'm going to call it right down the middle. St. Pierre has a better jab. Bisping, I would say, probably has better combinations, but St. Pierre has better kicks and probably better knees and elbows too. So interesting to see who will win the striking matchup here. Stamina and athleticism, it's another one that's right down the middle. Both of these guys rarely get tired. And athleticism, I'm giving to GSP. But stamina, I might give a slight edge to Bisping because he comes back and back and back like 3-4 rounds. Doesn't phase him. He just keeps coming. Toughness in the chin. Man, I might have to give this to Bisping as well. Bisping. George St. Pierre is very rarely in a fight where he has to rally back. Like, his back is usually never against the wall. He usually owns the octagon and kind of asserts himself very well. So he doesn't usually have to come back from getting beat up too often. So, yeah, I got to give that to Bisping. And then, so, for the official prediction on this one, man, your main event winner for UFC 217 by split decision, Michael the Count Bisping.
Damn.
Super tough pick. It could go either way. New York City. Don't know what the judges are going to say. But if I got to go on stamina and toughness and the size, just we will truly see if stamina and size and reach will beat out the skill and technique of St. Pierre, because this fight is super, super close. Actually, I want to take a quick look at the Vegas odds and see if they have any out for this fight yet.
So, quick question. I know that UFC was not doing any events in New York for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Is this the first MSG UFC, or they've done?
No, this will be the second, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, the first was Conor McGregor. No, I believe it was November of last year, but I could be mistaken. But yes, George St. Pierre, a slight favorite. It goes to what I was saying. This fight is extremely close, and I probably wouldn't touch this one from a betting perspective. But your official prediction, Michael Bisping on a split decision. Co-main event is yet another title fight. Cody, the champion, Cody No Love Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, who's the former bantamweight champion. This is for the bantamweight championship. These guys are 135 pounds. They don't get tired. They just strike and strike and strike and strike and strike. The size is even. The size and reach, both the same. Grappling and wrestling, I'm going to have to give to TJ Dillashaw. He's a amateur wrestler, and he's very good at taking people down. Striking is extremely close. I might have to go right down the middle on this one. The power I would give to uh, Garbrandt, and the technique maybe give to Dillashaw. Dillashaw is very good striking now. He's really changed his game and raised it to another level as far as kicking, punching, and knees and elbows and everything else. Stamina and athleticism. This one's tough. This is probably right down the middle as well. If I had to lean one way, I would say probably stamina for Garbrandt and athleticism to Dillashaw. Toughness and chin. This is another one that's close. Toughness, I probably have to give to Dillashaw, and chin, maybe Dillashaw as well. So my official prediction on this one is TJ Dillashaw, split decision, super close fight. Both of these guys could end it early. And looking at the Vegas odds here, it's actually Cody Garbrandt, who's a 1.5 favorite. So not a big favorite, but looks like Vegas is expecting Cody No Love to take the title back home. So I actually like the underdog here. Not a lot, but I would if I had to go one way, I'm going Dillashaw on that one. So next up on the trifecta of world title matches at UFC MSG 2, your girl Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Ray, versus Thug Rose Namajunas. This is another really good fight.
Dang, does she have her head shaved?
Yeah, she shaved her head a while ago. I believe, I could be mistaken. I heard this like secondhand, but she got tired of people saying that she was hot because it was like a group of like 3 or 4 hot chick fighters, and she was always in that group of like, oh, she's the hot chick, whatever. So she's like, oh yeah, I got your hot chick right here, and just shaved it all off. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. So yeah, man, this is gonna be good. I've been watching Rose for a while. Kind of surprised that she got a title fight, but this is an even matchup. So I'm looking at it here, size and reach. I'll probably give to Joanna, but I think she's heavier, but the reach is about the same. The grappling and wrestling, I would probably say Joanna's got good takedown defense, but I would definitely give the submissions to Rose. Striking, slight advantage to Joanna. She's dominant with the knees and elbows and the punches, but Thug Rose has some good kicks. She's very unorthodox, and if Joanna zigs where she should be zagging, or vice versa, Rose could catch her with a kick or some flying knee, or she's very proficient with the kicks. So definitely got to watch out there. Stamina and athleticism, I'm giving it to Joanna. She's proven it. She's gone 5 rounds numerous times. I've only seen Rose go 5 rounds one time, and athleticism's pretty even. Toughness and chin, I got to give it to your girl Joanna. Like I said, the 5-round championship fight, she's proven it over and over and over again. She's gotten rocked by Carolina, and I think she got rocked a little bit by Andrade. I think that's the fight we watched where her mouthpiece got knocked out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd probably give the chin to Joanna as well. So go ahead and take a look at what Vegas got to say about this. Oh, geez. Joanna, huge.
I can imagine.
4.5 favorite over Thug Rose. So, yeah, official prediction for your boy Eddie the Jerk is Joanna Jędrzejczyk on a unanimous decision. I was probably going to say that before I looked at the odds, but I was just reaffirming what my instincts were telling me here. And so rounding out the main card, there's a couple more, but I'm just going to do this last one real quick because it should be a very, very, very good fight. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. This should be all striking all day in this fight. It's a 3-round fight, non-title. So if they got to get a finish, it's got to get done early. Size and reach, I'm going to give to Wonderboy. Grappling and wrestling, I'll probably give to Masvidal, even though neither of these guys are trying to take the fight to the ground. These two are just trying to bang and bang and bang with the hands. Striking, I'm going to give a slight edge to Wonderboy. His striking defense is pretty good. But he has been cracked numerous times. For a karate guy, getting cracked like that is very uncommon. And Masvidal is very underrated boxing. So if he can close the distance and keep Wonderboy from dancing around and not running away, but getting away, Masvidal can put some hands on him easy. But time will tell. We'll have to see how this one pans out. And then on the other side of it, Masvidal has to watch out for those kicks because those kicks will be coming. They're coming fast. They're coming strong. So watch out for those kicks. Toughness and the chin. It is so hard for me not to give the toughness to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson after Wonderboy actually fought for the welterweight title in Madison Square Garden the last time it was at MSG. He got rocked big time by Tyrone Woodley, and somehow he managed to finish the round and he managed to finish the fight. So props to Wonderboy on that, giving him that toughness. The chin, probably give it to Masvidal, but like I said, Wonderboy ain't no pussy in there. So if I gotta call it, man, let's see.
You gotta call it.
I gotta call this one. It's gonna be split decision. I know that. I want to say Masvidal, but that karate style is just so appealing to the judges. We've seen it many times with Lyoto Machida and Wonderboy himself and other karate guys. They always seem to get the decision from the judges. So I'm going to say Stephen Thompson on a split decision. And let's just take a quick look at Vegas here. Yeah, Wonderboy, he's a 1.5 favorite. So pretty close fight, but also Vegas is thinking Wonderboy there. Definitely not going to miss this one. This Saturday, guys, UFC.
You know what to do.
GSP is back, baby. So let's see what we got. And then like Cody No Love and TJ Dillashaw, great fight. Your girl Joanna and Rose, that's another great fight. And then Wonderboy and Masvidal. I mean, you can't miss it. You can't miss it.
An absolutely awesome night. So I started the show. I dropped knowledge on you, and Eddie dropped some knowledge on you, and now he's going to drop social media on you. So Eddie, why don't you hit him with social media?
All right, yeah, you guys know what time it is. Instagram, Twitter, like us on Facebook, and if you're interested in donating anything to the podcast, patreon.com/JOAT podcast. Every little bit helps, and thank you guys in advance. Join us at JOATpodcast.com for weekly funny pictures, show notes, and videos from our video corner. Ray's doing the damn thing on JOATpodcast.com, and it is getting better every week. Subscribe to us if you haven't already on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Leave a comment and a review if you got the time and effort to do that.
Even if you don't have the time,
do it anyway.
Do it
now.
You're going to do it and you're going to like it.
Yes, we will find you.
God damn it.
And then subscribe to us on Twitch, twitch.tv/JOAT podcast. And any questions, comments, or things you want to clarify with us, JerkOfAllTradesPodcast @gmail.com.
We look forward to hearing from you guys. So we're going to go to break. We're going to come back, and we're going to have Universal Call Out. We're going to have JOAT Video Corner and many more fun stories. So we will see you on the flip side of the break.
Hey, what's up, guys? Eddie the Jerk here from the Jerk of All Trades podcast, and thank you for hanging out with us. As you guys already know, I've been on this Audible for a while now, and I'm totally digging it. When you use the link audibletrial.com/JOAT podcast, you get a free audiobook when you sign up, a free audiobook every 30 days thereafter, and discounted audiobook pricing as an Audible member. If you already have an Amazon account, it's so easy to sign up. It literally took me like 10 seconds to set everything up. My audiobook of choice this month is Game of Thrones, A Song of Fire and Ice, book number 1. If you haven't seen the show, no big deal. Go ahead and get caught up with this audiobook. And for you fans of Game of Thrones, you already know what time it is. You're going to love this audiobook. Once again, the link is audibletrial.com/JOAT podcast. Go start up your Audible subscription like a king with Audible and the Jerks.
Has the universe ever called out to you? Well, it's calling out to you now, and it demands you listen to the Jerk of All Trades podcast. Every Thursday night, Eddie and Ray tackled the absurdity of this world via a cornucopia of topics ranging from hot-button mainstream news, tech, robotics, progressive medicine, UFC, WWE, and so much more. Jerk of All Trades, changing the world, one podcast at a time.
This shit is bananas.
Yeah. You damn right. All right, guys, we're back. You heard the music, so you know what's coming next. It's time for this week's Universal Call Out. This shit is bananas.
Bananas. This shit is bananas.
We we had a nice little universal call out predictor last week for bananas. And we were thinking like, yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. Sometimes universal call out is hot, sometimes it's not. This time is hot. We're coming in hot.
It is quite hot.
Oh my goodness. Leading off the first story this week for bananas, 12,000 kilos of cocaine found inside of banana boxes, Ray. 14 tons of cocaine have been found in boxes of bananas seized in Holland and Belgium. All of it originates from Colombia. 11 tons.
Shocking.
Coming.
Colombia? No, it doesn't come
Colombia,
from
really?
What? Where is it coming from? It's coming from Turbo, a port town. Yeah, it's called Turbo. And
In
it's
that
cocaine.
turbo, yeah, man. 12,000 keys of fucking coke.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I was actually watching a Gordon Ramsay documentary last night, and it's about the Colombia drug trade and the cocaine trade down there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. This kind of reminds me of that. They didn't show me no damn 12,000 kilos.
No.
So
Was it in bananas?
No, but that's a lot of money. Every kilo is $100,000 worth of fucking coke.
So that is a lot of money, man.
12,000 times 100,000 is a lot of money.
A lot. I like it a lot.
So last but not least, the news report from local radio station Caracol said that despite the practice being common, there have been an increase in cocaine smuggled via banana shipments.
So this is like a normal thing, which I mean, I guess it makes sense, like when whatever your biggest export is, and I don't know if bananas are the biggest export, but I'm sure that that's a big one. And they're going to find ways to smuggle that out. So, I've, watched a lot of shit. They cut tires open and put, cocaine in tires or fucking, dolls or whatever they could fucking find. I think we talked about a story where somebody put a bunch of drugs in a fucking doll. Oh, also cereal boxes too.
Cereal boxes, yeah,
So
man.
you can put your drugs anywhere. But
I know they wrap them up in rubber when they use water as a way to ship it. They wrap the kilos of cocaine in rubber, and then they wrap it in like cellophane or that plastic wrap stuff. And so that just in case if the box falls apart or whatever, it's able to float and not sink to the bottom of the ocean.
damn.
Yeah, I'm
Damn.
telling you, man, it is so in depth how they make this coke and how they ship it, and it just boggles my mind how the ingenuity behind all of it
Yeah.
is so intricate that we've come a long way from.
We've come a long way in our drug trade.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, like George Washington and fucking, all these guys way, way, way back in the day didn't have to deal with no fucking cocaine. So it's fucking bananas.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So actually, I think it would work out pretty well for you. If you were smuggling your cocaine in bananas, then you could just have people like put the bananas inside of them, and then they could just fly over here. You wouldn't get as much cocaine that way, but at least it would fit more easily inside of a lady's hoo-ha or a dude's beehole or something, right?
Yeah. Well, the video last night had the guy swallowing fucking 250 packets of cocaine, and they caught his ass, and I think they took like an MRI, I guess, of him, and you could see all the little packets inside of his stomach. It was so gross. They said basically you swallow all that shit, and then you just shit it out, and then somebody goes through all the shit and takes all of it out. So
Yeah, you know what? I actually watched a really, really good movie. It was I believe it was from New Zealand, and it was called The Mule, and it was about a guy who went on a vacation somewhere. I don't remember exactly where he went. I don't know, Mexico, whatever. And he was convinced by, whatever, some people that in the town that he lived in to swallow a bunch of baggies of heroin. And so he did that, and he got seized at the airport. And he got taken aside, and they're like, "Look, we know what's up. We know that you've got heroin inside of you." And he's like, "No, I don't." So they're like, "Yeah, you do." So the whole movie is they actually put him in a hotel room, and they just sit there, and their job is to wait for him to eventually have to shit so they can get the heroin bags out of his shit. And he's just going on and on. I think 4 or 5 days pass and he still hasn't taken a shit. And
Jesus
he is
Christ.
really starting to struggle. There is
Didn't they just give him some coffee? Just give him some goddamn coffee.
They try a bunch of shit like that. So in one of the most disgusting scenes ever, the police officer that's watching him ends up like falling asleep or something. I think he may possibly somehow drug him or something. But anyway, or no, I don't think he actually. I think he's just sleeping, and he can't stop himself anymore, and so he ends up just like he's farting, and he eventually just like starts shitting them out in the bed, and he is left with no other choice but to fucking re-eat them. So then he takes and he re-eats the heroin bags that are covered in his own shit. And then like the guy wakes up and like he sees shit everywhere and like he smells shit on his breath and he knows what he's done, but he cannot prove it. Like he cannot prove that he's like it is it's quite a funny little movie. So it's kind of like a dark comedy kind of thing. So anyway.
That could have went in the Halloween horror movies.
The mule.
No, thank you. Let's see. Yeah, getting back on track. Apparently now they have something called banana milk, and it's a thing. Freaking low fat, low sugar content. There's 6 different ingredients. 6 different flavors, I believe, and it contains absolutely no added sugar, just natural sweetness from bananas. It's certified organic, non-GMO, and nut-free. For all you guys out there with peanut allergies, rendering it an allergy. Oh, damn it. I got too far ahead of myself. It's made from pureed bananas, roasted sunflower seed butter, and just a dash of cinnamon. And I believe it's called the Mullah's Banana Milk, not sponsored, #not sponsored. Okay. Only 60 calories, Ray.
See, I was very confused by this because when you told me about this, I was like, banana milk already exists in that there is like, the whatever
organics,
Nesquik or whatever. There's like chocolate milk, it's fucking milk that has chocolate flavoring, or there's strawberry milk and it's just regular milk that has strawberry flavoring. And so there's banana milk. Banana milk is just regular ass milk, but it has fake ass banana flavoring in it.
No, this is
right. So this is actually milk that's actually made from pureed bananas and other stuff.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. The Nesquik.
Yeah. So that's why I was so confused. I was like, I think that banana milk has been out for like a hot couple decades or something. But no, that actually sounds pretty delicious. I'm always on the hunt for some new type of not milk. So
you'd be definitely the new kid on the block with fucking banana milk.
New kid on the block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick.
Hang tough. Bananas are going extinct, Ray.
Whoa. Bananas are not that tough.
No, they're dying. They're dying left and right.
Oh man.
So I guess now what we got going on here is a banana attacking fungus called Fusarium wilt has been assaulting bananas across Southeast Asia and Australia. Fusarium wilt has been wafting its mysterious, murderous way along, taking bite after deadly bite. It appears to be somewhat impervious to pesticides, and it can pretend to be dead and then suddenly get up and start killing again.
I noticed this particular sentence really interested me. It's so insidious that just like the bad guy at the end of movies, it can pretend to be dead and then suddenly get up and start killing again. It's Michael fucking Myers,
yes!
God damn it. It's Michael fucking Myers.
Oh my God.
This thing should have its own horror movie where it's killing bananas and you can't kill it. You got to shoot it in the fucking face with a gun.
With a silver bullet?
No.
Or is that like werewolf?
That's werewolves.
Yeah.
I think you just have to chop its head off or something, or put too many bad sequels out. One of the two.
Craziness. Well, I guess the scientists are saying that we could be looking at a future where bananas all but disappear from store shelves. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'll tell you what, man. So
I'd be a little sad.
You know what? Before today, I would have been pretty fucking sad. But let me tell you a little story about RayTheJerk earlier today and the universal call out hitting a little too close to home. So, you know what? Maybe because, universal call out was bananas or whatever, but hey, I was at the store and I was like, I want some bananas. This was like last week. So I bought some bananas. First thing, I bought a little bushel or whatever of bananas, and I took one banana. I've got a little banana hanger thing. I took one banana off, and like I don't know what happened to all the other bananas, but the fucking top parts of them ripped off on all of the bananas.
Oh,
So I was
jeez.
like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Now that I got 5 bananas that I would have to like eat immediately because now they're not protected. You can't put like Saran wrap on it or something. I guess you could. If I was gonna fill it with cocaine or something,
My
but
only thought there is thrown in the freezer, maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
I was too
I don't
lazy
even
for
know if
that.
that works.
I think I just throw it in the trash. Sure, Richard Branson would love to hear me say that.
No.
But anyway, so whatever. So I've been eating bananas this week, and anyway, went out earlier today, and I decided to do a little shopping and stuff, and decided to get some coffee. So I went to the Starbucks, got a coffee, and was like, "Hey, do you guys got bananas?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we got bananas." So got a banana, and anyway, ate that banana, did my little shopping, came home, and like I got in my kitchen, and I was just like, man, I do not feel good. Like I do not know what's wrong with me, but there is something wrong with my stomach. Like not like I got a shit, but like, dude, I am not feeling good, and I think I'm gonna puke. And all of a sudden, I just heard Vince McMahon in my head, and he's like,
He's gonna puke.
"He's gonna puke.
I think we got that thought at the exact same moment.
He's gonna puke."
He's gonna puke.
I think I'm actually gonna splice it in. So right here,
Okay.
this will be the moment where I actually splice it in. So right here,
Beyond the mat.
there it is. All right. So
Whoever thought that was a good idea?
Vince McMahon thought it was a
Jesus
good idea.
Christ.
So anyway, guess what happened? I fucking started to puke in my own mouth. I had to run to my sink, and I puked in my fucking sink, and then I fucking puked again, and like just violent amounts of fucking banana and coffee, and yeah, I had to get that whole goddamn banana out of me. And I don't know what was wrong with that particular banana, but my body did not agree with it,
No.
and so yeah, universal call out is making me fucking sick.
No, not good.
No,
Not good at all.
not good at all. That's what I get for trying to be healthy.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
That or Starbucks fucking put some roofies in your shit or something. I don't know.
it's certainly possible. So
God damn.
so anyway, yeah, universal call out definitely fucking delivered, and let's hope that bananas don't go extinct. So
No.
get out of here, Fusarium wilt, you son of a
Yeah.
bitch. I will kill you. So anyway, yeah, our next story is pretty goddamn bizarre. So let's talk about the Krispy Kreme meth bust. And I'll tell you what, this story actually on the surface, when I first read it, I was kind of like, you know what, this is pretty interesting, funny story. And then I was like, wow, there's actually like much more depth to this thing. So there was a guy in Florida that was just awarded $37,500 after the cops mistaked glazed donut crumbs for meth. So let's not forget about our guy that was high on meth that thought a dog put a hex on him, so he killed his dog, right? He killed the dog, right?
That's a throwback.
Okay. All right. So anyway,
These quotas are out of control.
seriously,
Fucking donut crumbs? Jesus
it is
Christ.
ridiculous. So basically they pulled this guy over. He's 64 years old. His name's
And
Danny.
he's 64 years old.
Okay.
Doing meth.
This is shit you can't even make up. Okay. 64 years old. He had just dropped off his friend at chemotherapy.
Oh my God.
Like, seriously? Like, could this be any worse for the police?
Yeah, no shit.
So anyway, he went to, I guess he went to the convenience store, and then he was doing like 42 and a 30, and he got pulled over by the cops. And he had a gun. He had a concealed weapons permit, which he showed them. They asked if they wanted to search his car. He said that's fine. So actually, multiple people searched his car. And anyway, they noticed some crystals on the floorboard of the car, and the officers used a field testing kit. And the white substance that they found tested positive for methamphetamine. And the guy said, no, that's glazed from a Krispy Kreme donut. I go there every other Wednesday. Like, yeah, right. You go there like every day, but whatever. Officers weren't buying it. Not just the fact that he only goes there every other Wednesday. They thought it was fucking meth. And so they booked him on charges of possessing methamphetamine while armed with a weapon. Anyway, further testing happened, and it turned out that the white crystals were, in fact, not a controlled substance. The results did not indicate whether the substance was sweet and delicious, though. But, it was probably Krispy Kreme donut. So anyway,
Wait. Just to roll back here. This
Yeah.
is a little fast for me. So the substance they tested was actually methamphetamine?
no, it was not methamphetamine.
No,
What-
I know that, but like, because they pulled him over, like the sequence of events. Can you explain it to me again?
Yeah, so he was pulled over for doing
Yeah.
42 in a 30.
Okay, and then they
And-
searched his car.
And then they noticed that he had a weapon. He had a concealed carry permit.
Yeah,
Then they wanted to search his car, which he said okay.
and then they found the donut crumbs.
So they found the donut crumbs, or what they believe to be methamphetamine.
Okay, they didn't test it right there.
They did, yes.
Oh, they did.
They have a field testing kit, which
Yeah.
we'll actually cover a little bit later in this story. That is not very effective,
No,
and as you can tell,
that's being polite.
as you can tell, it's not all that effective.
Yeah.
And so he got booked on methamphetamine charges, and then once they did further actual testing, when they brought it to a lab, it was proven to not be methamphetamine.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So now this actually happened in another city in the Florida city northwest of Orlando, Oviedo. Carlos Cash was pulled over in March for driving without headlights and arrested by the police. Court records showed that he had outpassed his court-ordered curfew. The records were later shown to be out of date and inaccurate. So, I mean, they pulled him over on some bullshit.
Okay.
And police saw white dust on the floorboards of his car. They tested it with a field kit. It tested positive for cocaine.
Uh-oh.
He went to jail for 90 days.
Maybe he just had a banana in there. I just had a box of bananas. I didn't know there was fucking cocaine in there.
Man. So 90 days.
Oh,
he was in
man.
jail. He knew the white substance in his car was actually drywall dust.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
He had to do 90 days because they found some bullshit dust.
Yeah, so it says that some tests use a single tube of a chemical called cobalt thiocyanate, which turns blue when it's exposed to cocaine, but it also turns blue when it's exposed to more than 80 other compounds, including methadone, certain acne medications, and several household cleaners. Other tests use 3 tubes, which officer can break in a specific order to rule out everything but the drug in question. But if the officer breaks the tubes in the wrong order, that too can invalidate the results. The environment can also present problems. Cold weather slows the color development, heat speeds it up, or sometimes prevents a color reaction from taking place at all. So basically, these tests that they're using are about a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and people are going to jail.
And people are going to jail for this. Remind me at the end of the story, we're going to check in with Do Not Pay.
Yes, please.
We're going to check on with Do Not Pay.
I want my robot lawyer.
Yes, I want my robot lawyer. But yeah, so data from the state law enforcement lab in Florida found 21% of the evidence recorded by police as methamphetamine was in fact not methamphetamine, and of that, half was not illegal drugs at all, according to ProPublica investigation. When we examined the department's records, they showed that officers faced with somewhat ambiguous directions on the pouches had simply misunderstood which colors indicated a positive result. So literally the cops just didn't fucking understand it. Like they're like, I think blue is positive, right? You're going to jail for 90 days.
Could have been colorblind.
Yeah, there you go.
He could have been colorblind. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Was it orange? Was it green? I don't know. So anyway, Mr. Rushing was spurred to file a lawsuit against the city of Orlando, which he won. And 2 weeks ago he reached a settlement, which was for $37,500. So
That's not bad. 90
so-
days, 37 grand.
Yeah,
I'd take that.
Worked out okay for him. I actually found another funny story that I thought tied together pretty well with this as well. We actually had a 21-year-old man who was wanted on probation violations. This is in Detroit. Detroit what? Detroit what?
Detroit, baby.
uh,
Eminem's new CD comes out, I think next week.
oh damn,
Pretty soon.
he's hot property right now, man.
Yep.
Also, your boy Kid Rock is not running for Senate. He's actually putting out a really shitty CD that talks about being from the South, even though he's from, fucking northern Michigan.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
always found that very odd about Kid Rock.
yeah, and
The
his
rebel flag, and he's
Yeah.
like, couldn't be any further north.
pandering. But yeah, this guy, he was on probation violations. He decided to turn himself in. What did he do? He brought in a bunch of donuts for the cops because cops like donuts. First off, I wonder if they were sort of offended, but then they were like, we're going to eat these fucking
They
donuts.
goddamn right they are. You
Oh.
watch Twin Peaks. Those donuts get ate,
We
bro.
got to stack those donuts.
Hell yeah.
They actually asked if did the other officers eat the donuts, and the sergeant said no comment. hard hitting Yahoo News. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So, wouldn't it be
If there was ever a read in between the lines,
wouldn't it be a twist of fate if he had actually brought in donuts that actually were sprinkled with methamphetamine?
oh my god, that would be crazy.
That would really fuck him up, huh?
Oh,
That would.
so do the cops get arrested if they test each other?
I don't know. All right, so let's check in with Do Not Pay. What do we want to ask?
Are we talking about cocaine and bananas or meth in the donuts?
Maybe let's say I got pulled over and my donut crumbs tested positive
If I had to guess, it's probably gonna be
Or-
the receipt again.
meth and but
Yeah, probably hold your receipt. If I had to guess,
I'm sorry to hear that. Here's how we can help. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Send an appeal to refund an item with impractical
Yes.
and unreasonably warranty guidelines. We got refund for undelivered goods. So if deliveries still haven't arrived and it's been an unreasonably long time, you may still be eligible for a refund or better otherwise. Send this appeal in.
Nah, hold your receipt. Hold your receipt. Show the cop, hey, look, man, Krispy Kreme. Isn't it so shitty that you have to hold every receipt?
Refund.
You ever bought?
Refund for faulty goods. If the goods that have been damaged when they arrived at your home, you're eligible for a refund.
There you go.
I bought this donut and fucking the cream fucking chipped off of it, and now the cops tested positive for methamphetamines. This is a faulty fucking donut. Goddamn you, Krispy Kreme.
I didn't even get high off it either.
I didn't even get high off this goddamn donut. I
This
just got
was
a
some-
sugar rush. That's it.
Some low grade meth.
And then I've got file for maternity leave.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. All right. Apparently you can file for if you are eligible for maternity leave if you're expecting, and then need extra help. Yeah, we can help within 24 hours.
Interesting. Well, on to something a little more positive on the drug front. Amazon.
Amazon delivers again.
Woo, you ain't lying. Amazon delivered 65 pounds of prime reefer up in this bad boy. First of all, this delivery happened in Florida.
In Orlando.
Again, Florida. You got these cops with their drywall dust, and now you're Amazon sending weed from Massachusetts to Orlando.
Oh my goodness.
65 pounds of weed. How did that happen? So, all right. The package was shipped from a warehouse in Massachusetts, and there was a couple that received the package. They said immediately something was pretty weird and wrong. The 27-gallon plastic storage bins, which apparently should have been empty, were a little harder to carry than a couple of plastic bins should have been. Police later found that the package weighed a total of 93.5 pounds.
Jeez.
That's heavy, yeah.
That's crazy on the shipping too. I mean, I guess you would probably get prime shipping on that.
Dude,
but that's heavy as fuck.
Yeah, what was the UPS guy thinking? What 93-pound container?
I don't know.
God, there's something.
Getting a goddamn workout, man.
Yeah, no
he's
kidding.
he's gonna need some of that fucking prime reefer, man.
Yeah, no
He'd
kidding.
blow his goddamn back out.
Get that muscle relaxer going.
Seriously.
So, yeah, the female customer opened up the package and she found that each of the 4 bins contained a green plastic wrap bundle of marijuana. The weed itself weighed 65 pounds. She and her fiance were completely baffled and called the cops.
Of course they did.
What?
Of course.
Why are
they
you
did.
calling the cops, girl? We're doing just
thought,
fine.
They thought it was a setup, probably. They thought it was a fucking setup. I mean, let's be honest here. If you got like 65 pounds of weed, I mean, fuck, I might kind of be I might be a little worried too, because that's like the plot of a movie, you know?
No.
Like you get a bunch of fucking weed delivered to you, and like it was like supposed to go to someone else, and you try to keep it and sell it, and then
No,
like
no,
you
no.
end up like with the fucking mob after you. Like
This-
that's a fucking movie I've seen probably.
You might just call me Monty Hall and say, let's make a deal.
Oh man.
Call me first. Don't call the police. God damn, what the hell?
Call Amazon customer service.
For my future ex-girlfriends in the future, or ex-wives, if you call the cops before you call me on 65 pounds of weed coming to the house, we're getting divorced. We are getting divorced.
It's a done deal.
Immediately. This is just Donald Trump does not agree with this deal. This is a bad deal. Amazon gave the couple a $150 gift card. Gee,
Seriously?
thanks.
Oh wow.
$150 on 65 pounds.
They don't even sell
reefer.
weed.
I know.
You
So
can't even buy weed there.
hopefully they got to keep their containers and spend that money. Or actually, probably the containers probably got taken too. So yeah, I mean that is just insane. 65
Insane
pounds
in
of
the
weed.
membrane.
How did that not reek of like super fucking reefer coming out of the bin?
Yeah, I'm sure that was probably like, I'm sure they wrapped it up like very tightly. So, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, the only logical thing here is that someone in one of the Amazon warehouses was trying to ship that to someone else, right?
It's possible that or somebody.
That or Amazon has like a fucking like drug trade going on that we're unaware of.
No, it's either someone intercepted the package, or it could have been the delivery person, or I'm not sure. But I'm on Do Not Pay right now, and I'm typing in my girlfriend called the cops on my on my 65-pound weed delivery. You know, they have weed delivery in California, but I don't think they do 65 pounds. I'm sorry to hear that. Here's a refund faulty goods. Okay, can't do it.
Oh,
Need
man.
extra fault. No receipt on this one, but I think Do Not Pay agrees with me, and we have to break up. That's just the way it
Yeah.
is. It just,
That's just the way it is.
if you're not smart enough
Things
to
will never
realize
be the same.
what type of gift has just been gifted to us, then it may be time to go.
Gifted from the heavens above or from Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Well, on the topic of weed, Ray, Northern Michigan University offers marijuana degree. You know about this, right?
Detroit, what?
Yes!
Detroit, what? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, this is actually reported by the Detroit Free Press. So, yeah, a university in Michigan is offering an unusual degree in marijuana. So, Northern Michigan University in Marquette began its medical plant chemistry program this semester with about a dozen students in the first class. The Detroit Free Press reported. The program combines chemistry, biology, botany, horticulture, marketing, and finance. So, it's an unusual program. Other universities offer classes on marijuana policy and law in places such as Oaksterdam University, Cannabis College in Humboldt, Cannabis College, all in California, and THC University, the Grow School, and Clover Leaf University in Denver offer certificates in a variety of disciplines. But the Northern Michigan program is unique because it is a university and it's offering a 4-year degree that is addressing the science and business behind growing marijuana.
Yeah, I just want to touch on something real quick here. I'm happy that Michigan is doing this. Obviously, they're having a lot of issues right now, money-wise, financially.
Yeah.
So it looks,
Bankruptcy, what?
yeah, it looks like they're planning ahead because it's not legal right now. Marijuana isn't legal as of yet in the state of Michigan, so it looks like they're prepping for it.
Oh,
and
for sure.
And it looks like they're gonna pass it because for a university to be doing this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's huge, man.
I hope they make a shitload of money. Because there's a lot of good people out there in Michigan, and it's silly for marijuana with all of its potential for revenue to be criminally processed all the time is getting silly, and people are becoming more and more aware of the benefits of it. And yeah, man, hopefully it passes and they can start growing that goddamn weed.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, this thing is cool too because, yeah, I mean, you don't think about, all the science and stuff that is behind that. And so you're going to need people that are actually going to know need to know what's going on.
Yes.
They're going to need to understand that stuff.
Legit people.
Yes.
Professors and
right.
students.
Not just, random dude who read a bunch of stuff on, online, like, certain people I may know. that, you know, just started doing it. So you gotta, you gotta know your stuff, and that's what this is gonna do. You know, it's a 4-year university, and it's gonna teach you how to grow your cannabis and grow it right and do it right. And hopefully, you know, this will work out for Michigan. So I'm all about it.
Hell yeah. Definitely. Michigan, do the damn thing.
Absolutely. So cool. All right. So let's hit the home stretch. JOAT video corner.
All right.
All right. So what are we which one are we starting with here?
Well, let's do mine last because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty goddamn funny. So
I need to
we can save it for the last.
yeah, I need to find that too, because I don't know that I've got that on mine. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm still searching for
Oh, no, that's the wrong one.
I'm searching for GTA, I think. Nope, that's work.
Okay, that's that. Okay, make sure okay,
No, this
sorry.
one, yeah, this one's yours right here. This is great podcasting.
Oh, this is
We're giving you guys time to set up. We did this on purpose. It may sound like it's a jumbled mess, but it's really done on
No,
purpose.
you know what? Not you know, we're never perfect. So okay, let me get to we're starting with
Ooh, I
this
got
is-
a message on Facebook. Ow!
Oh, okay. This is Everything is Terrible. This is
Okay, so you're going YouTube first.
yes, this
Okay.
is Everything is Terrible. This is called Halloween Will Kill You. Everything is Terrible. It's fucking awesome. It's a website that's existed for quite a while. And I think we watched something from Grimy Ghost, which is connected with Everything is Terrible. But Everything is Terrible basically like finds all of these like clips of like shitty movies and like you know, church videos and just like public access stuff, and it basically twists and warps them and puts them on display. They're doing a really cool thing, which is just ridiculous. They are creating basically an entire art exhibit with VHS copies of Jerry Maguire, and they have like over 100,000 copies of Jerry Maguire, and they've made an entire room with like a whole throne and stuff. They actually made it look like the Holy Mountain. And it's
Wow.
just they
Why
actually
Jerry Maguire?
I don't know, because of the randomness of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really like it's this weird art, you know, like where it kind of talks about, you know, the disposability of things. You have the like, you know, VHS, a dead media format, and like how many copies of this one random movie there are, which is Jerry Maguire. So you'll have to actually you'll have to see the pictures. Maybe I'll post on our website and on our social media the Everything is Terrible Jerry Maguire shrine thing that they have going on, because it's pretty fucking awesome. So anyway, all right. So are you ready? Are you loaded up on this?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the telecast today. We're going to talk about the dangers of Halloween and what you're exposing your
Halloween is
children
very
to.
dangerous.
Stay tuned. I'm delighted to
we
present
got
to
a
you my
senior
second
citizen
novel,
guy here with his
Avenge Your
glasses.
Blood.
Most people think that Halloween is just a Christian holiday. It is actually a nature, Wiccan, satanic holiday, the
Satan.
festival of death. Just to even link Halloween
Day
to
of
the
the Dead.
Christian church is as bizarre as maybe survivors from the Nazi Holocaust celebrating Hitler's birthday
would.
and
That-
embracing the morals of the death camps.
Well, Halloween is a celebration of death. Christ is a
Where's this
celebration
chick from?
of life. They just don't go
I don't
together.
know.
Skeletons,
Ouija boards,
World.
bones,
It's got to be the
Ouija board.
South.
pointy hats with witches,
Ouija boards.
graveyards being
boards.
Ouija
defecated on.
boards.
The
Some
focus
Ouija
is on
boards.
blood and gore and death.
If you read
Damn
one book
Generation
this year,
X
make
and
it
their
the
Ouija
Avenge Your
boards.
Blood. Human sacrifice is common in America. How has witchcraft made itself child-friendly?
Have you ever played with a Ouija board? Yes. And it was over a Halloween party.
This is one of
Bitch.
the insidious elements of the Harry
I
Potter
played with a
series.
lot
It
of
has
wood
made
before, but I don't think I
witchcraft
played with a
appear to be
Ouija board
fun.
before.
What is the unseen force behind
do
the
it.
Harry Potter
We'll
books?
do it.
The driving force is the
We're gonna
spirit
do-
of witchcraft.
we're gonna do Ouija
the Harry
board on the
Potter books
podcast.
are a repackaging of witchcraft for your children.
Oh my
Witchcraft is the
God.
power
Harry
through
Potter!
which Satan's
Look at
kingdom
these- look at
functions,
these
and it
fucking
attacks
dorks.
the masculine nature of God and
Statue of
presents
Liberty.
God as a
That's me
feminist.
calling them
Harry
dorks. Come
Potter
on.
promotes meditation, fortune telling,
What?
and occult spells, vampires,
tells you-
demons, and
This is like a
Satanism.
cable
Satan is
access
after your
program
children.
gone
How
wrong.
has
Oh
this
my
come
God,
in? I
it's
think
a
Hollywood has
cable
been
access
doing a lot of the
program gone
conditioning. Sabrina the
fucking
Teenage
right.
Witch, the pagan federation in England that says
Imagine
their
if-
mailbags
if your kids started
swell
meditating,
every
you
time
know,
that
God,
Sabrina the
if they just,
Teenage
like,
Witch
you know,
comes
sat
on.
there and, you
Thousands
know,
of teenagers
tried to
wanting
silence the thoughts
to
in their
join
mind.
covens and become witches.
The Harry Potter series is the thing that convinces me the Antichrist is not far off. Even Harry Potter's
I agree with
forehead
him.
is marked with the lightning bolt.
I saw
of
Harry
the
Potter and
Hitler
fell asleep
SS. I went
immediately.
to a seminary
was pretty
that more or
boring.
less
Oh,
taught that
God.
demons did not function in America.
devil
but
put
they
me
were
right to
something that
sleep.
functioned in foreign countries. I wondered
Satan's
what
gotta
there
make
was
better
that kept
movies, I
demons
feel
from
like.
getting across the
He's
Rio
made some good
Grande.
music,
I
but-
know
It's only the good movies
that
they say,
I am
oh,
capable
Satan made
of
this movie.
cold-blooded murder with absolute malice aforethought without
This
an
is getting
ounce
fucking
of
spooky.
regret.
It may be fun, but it isn't harmless.
Tarot cards, it will destroy
Tarot
your
I wish
Child.
fucking this
You
guy
shall
and Jim
not
Ross
permit
would
a
get into like a
person to
UFC
talk to a
fight.
witch.
Jim
You
Ross
should
just
not
beat
allow
the
a witch
fuck
to
out
He
of
live.
this
does have a
guy.
little bit of Jim Ross
There are
going
people
on.
who
Yeah,
will
but
read
Jim
the
Ross more
horoscope and
badass
never
than
read
this
the
guy.
Word of God. The cutting
Jim
of
Ross
trees
beat the fuck
is
out of
like
this
the
guy.
raping of your mother.
John
so
Hage.
the
Wait.
religion
What
of
did he just say about
feminism
raping
and
your mother?
fertility is
The
greater
cutting of a
than
tr-
the Father
the
God,
cutting
the
of trees is
Creator.
like
We
raping
as a
of your mother.
society have become so inundated with smut on the television, pornography, and Ouija boards. Schools are promoting Harry Potter
my
and his
God.
religion, causing an occult revival around the world.
In book number 1, Harry's parents are murdered on Halloween night. So we see Halloween associated with blood, fear, death.
The Avenger of Blood has sworn to kill the Roman soldier.
by the
who
way,
raped
this
his
is his
sister on
book,
Patmos,
The
making
Avenger
their
of
lives
Blood.
a living nightmare. Halloween is
Make sure to
nothing
get
but
it on
the
hardcover for only
repackaging of the
$8.99.
theology
It's
of
almost
Satan
feeling like he's
in a
called
very
a
fun,
pot
happy,
or kettle
joyous
pot black or
package
some
to
shit.
get
Yeah,
your children to dabble with it.
pot
And
kettle
once they
black
get
is what I
drawn
always
into
say.
this occulted theme of death,
3 words,
fear,
pot,
and
kettle
destruction,
black.
Yeah,
their
this
life
motherfucker right here.
can be permanently scarred or destroyed.
Oh my
Listen
God.
closely and protect your family.
Halloween will kill you.
His suit isn't that bad. I will give him that. He's got a nice looking suit on. Grimy Ghost!
Boo. Boo. Everything is terrible.
Beautiful.
All right. There it was, guys.
Yeah, that guy ain't got shit on Jim Ross, I'll tell you right now.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Oh, we're doing Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to this. It's queued up.
Okay.
Yes!
All right. So a small bag of meth was found inside a used copy of GTA 5.
Oh my.
If you're wondering, no, the meth wasn't blue. Now we're seeing blue meth being made. She called the police who tested the substance. Was this his fucking wife?
Probably.
Confirmed the bag contained 6 grams of meth. Not the blue shit, though. McAllister, not Kevin McAllister, had purchased the game at GameStop in Tallahassee. Oh my God, Florida again. And was concerned the game hadn't been checked more carefully. Maybe this was a special edition. Local authorities investigated the case further. And GameStop issued an official apology for the incident. Oddly enough, this isn't even the first time.
Yeah, that had to have been go ahead.
Drugs have been found inside a used game. We're getting to see some footage of GTA 5. A very similar incident was reported at another GameStop location in Lake Charles, Louisiana, back in September of 2016. We don't know what that game was, though. Can you believe someone left a bag of drugs inside a used game? Sure, why not?
That had to have been an employee. Unless
Yeah.
they didn't check the game when they brought it in.
It's possible. They usually check those games pretty hard, though, I feel like, so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sorry.
Oh, Ray's playlist.
Sorry.
Ray secretly loves hip hop and R&B.
All right.
So our last video,
Our last video here.
it's a comedy video. It's actually a Santa Claus and appears to be a reindeer, maybe Rudolph, not sure. I was gonna save this for Christmas time, but this video is just too damn funny. You can find it on YouTube. The title of it is simple. It's called "When Robots Twerk."
And there's only 121 views.
Dude, it's going up after this.
It's going viral. Going viral. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Oh,
look at that booty! Look at that booty!
Boom!
Santa and a reindeer with a booty. Oh,
Santa is moving that thing, and then so's the reindeer.
working it.
You think you've seen twerk videos on Instagram? You ain't seen this one.
Oh, man. Let's replay.
That was so good.
Oh, let's watch it again.
Boom, boom.
If I wasn't sitting down, I'd be twerking right now.
Hell yeah! This puts me in the holiday spirit. It really does.
Let's watch it again.
Yes. I'm ready for Christmas. God damn it!
Ready for my turkey Christmas. Somebody better get me these for the holidays.
Dude, this would be awesome. I want to order one of those.
That's another hour of the podcast of us just listening to this, watching this on repeat.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is a good find. This is a good find.
Okay. There it is.
Who made a fucking Santa doll with the jiggle butt action?
There's a lot of interesting little decorations like that now. It is ridiculous. You know what? Hey, maybe one day we'll create Ray the Jerk and Eddie the Jerk twerking robots.
Twerking butt robots, yes.
Twerking butt robots.
Only our butt moves, not our
Only
legs.
our butts. So, all right. All right.
I love that video.
So another JOAT video corner, fucking amazing shit again. And you know where we go next? We go to InspiroBot for the win.
Nice.
So
all right.
let's InspiroBot it up.
Let's get some
So
inspiration up in this
I'm
bad boy.
gonna make this shit bigger too. I want to see it big.
I'm InspiroBot.
Hello, you can become my friend. I'm going to.
This is weak. I don't want that one.
All right, I'm gonna generate. Here I am generating. Oh my god!
Nice.
No, dude. I got a guy holding a banana and it says try to be the reason somebody has a meltdown.
Oh my god. InspiroBot
You can't make that up, dude.
never ceases to amaze us.
Oh my god.
Even though
dude.
that's not quite as random as
Oh my
the podcast would hope. Wait, describe the picture again?
It's a white background.
Okay.
It's a guy. It's just a hand, and it's holding a banana that's like peeled open,
Okay.
and it says, "Try to be the reason somebody has a meltdown."
Oh my god. Are you
Fucking-
gonna buy the shirt?
I might buy the shirt. I might print that on the shirt.
Oh my god. You can wear it for one of our pictures.
Dude, what are the chances? And by the way, good luck on your InspiroBot.
No, mine sucks. I did 3 of them and they all suck.
All right, give me what you got.
All right, I got some guy in some trunks jumping off maybe like a ledge or something into some water. And it says quality is a real character. Boo.
Yeah, it's all about the
Hey,
banana.
It couldn't live up to yours. There's
How
just no way.
fucking weird, dude. That is a new goddamn level. I'm fucking blown away, man.
That is crazy.
My mind is fucking blown, dude. Oh my
Apple,
god.
dude. Apple's got their hands on it.
Oh my god. It's like apples and bananas. Fake news and real news. Fuck. Oh god. You know what? Let's do how about this? For the 31st episode of the show, let's do 31 topics.
Holy crap.
That's a lot of
That's a great idea.
And because what is Halloween is October
October
31st.
Nice.
Look at that.
I like where your head's at.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity up in the bitch.
All right, here we go. We ready? Refresh. All right. I've got, and I might not have to go through all of these.
Yeah, I might need
again.
a notepad and
Okay.
paper. 31.
All right, I got athletics, playing cards, zebras, prisons, bananas, drugstores, masonry, lighters, prostitution, dentistry, canoes, royalty, bakeries, hunting, socialism, submarines, vaccines, archery, diamond, dogs, bridges, diving, spas, lions, crime. Oh, don't pick crime. Fishing, politics, skating, cats, carpentry, and dance. I know what I like out of these.
Man, it is so hard. There's
That's a
not a
lot.
lot of repeats there either.
No.
I kind of like dogs. I kind of like drugstores.
I like prostitution.
Prostitution, I was thinking about.
I don't think we've had any. I don't think we've really talked about prostitution at all.
Let's
And
do
I think
it.
that could be an interesting one.
I like that one.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Cool.
What a
Next
fucking
week.
episode. What an episode of the JOAT podcast. It just keeps
Hell
getting
yeah.
better and better and better. So make sure to join us next week. We're going to have tons of fun prostitution stories. So universal call out of prostitutes. As my girlfriend says, I believe she says that I
Are you sure you want to say this right now?
I think she says that I love whores. So
we foreshadowed it in the
Yeah.
beginning, and we didn't even know.
so I do sort of love whores. Yes, I do love whores. And I love horror films.
Just
so-
for this week.
Oh boy. So all right.
We love you guys. Check us out on social media.
Yes.
And
hit
we'll
us
be
up.
back next week.
All right, we love you guys. We are
Mwah.
outie. Bye bye.